And we are back after a bye week. Darek Sharp with Caylee, Cottrell, and Joey Johnston. Last time the Bulls were in action, which I don't know about you guys, seems like it was a year ago. Not quite that long ago. I had to think about the score. I believe it was 35-25, a wild win against UAB. We'll talk to Alex Golesh a little bit about that and about the upcoming game on a Friday night national television against FAU. But we certainly want to acknowledge what has sort of been on everyone's mind. Not sort of, it's been on everyone's mind, and we'll talk to the head coach about it as well. The passing of our beloved men's basketball coach, Amir Abdur-Rahim, who was a big part of this program and every program, but what he did for the basketball program and the community sports at USF, all of USF, and everybody in the Tampa Bay area will always be remembered. I know, Joey, you're closer than most as far as media members. You not only wrote plenty of articles on him, and we got to observe him, and we all sat down with him for the coaches, the basketball versions of BULLSEYE, but also you work on the radio broadcast and talk to him before and after every single game, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I'm going to miss so much. Jim Lighthall and myself, we travel with the team, and I don't know however many games we played last year. I think it was 33. So before each of those games, we sit down with Coach Amir and do an interview, and then when the mics shut off, then we usually chat a bit. So, and that could be basketball, it could be life, it could be current events. I mean, we had a lot of very interesting conversations with Coach Amir, and I learned a lot from him and was looking forward to not only this year, but the rest of my life talking to Coach Amir, and that's going to be a profound loss for me. But, you know, prayers to his family, to his kids, to his wife, everybody who surrounded him. We were lucky that we got to be in his world for a bit, as did so many hundreds and thousands of others, it seems like, that all got touched by Coach Amir.
I don't know about you, but when I'm thinking about him, and it's a lot lately, obviously, very little is about the basketball team or the games. And oh, by the way, they brought us a lot of memories there. So when you can be touched, and when you think about somebody, it's about how they made you feel and about who they were. That speaks as loudly as anything.
Yeah, and just how accessible and how affable he was with all of us. I know there were a couple of times when I did interviews with him that I felt like I kind of have reached my limit here with the time, and I would maybe cut it off, and he would kind of say, "Well, I got a few more minutes."
Wow.
You know,
that doesn't happen.
You don't see that very often. I mean,
Caylee,
did you have a similar vibe with him?
I mean, I just feel so lucky. I thought about it the other day, to have been able to interview him on his first day on the job, first introductory interview, and then fast forward towards the end of the season, getting to interview him courtside as champions, at the end of the season there. I just feel very honored, very blessed to have been along on that journey with him, especially as a creative in our creative department. Sure. I had a conversation with our photographer and videographer, saying how lucky are we that we got to help document those cherished moments and memories that we can now relive over and over again whenever we want. Just feel very, very lucky to have felt his impact. I've never felt a soul that was so peaceful but so electric at the same time. He's everything you'd want a coach, a husband, a father, a brother, a mentor, a coworker, a role model to be. And he was that for everyone that he came into contact with. So forever touched by him, and I know many people are.
I was trying to figure out what to do on the radio side this past week, and it was pretty easy. There were so many games to pick from, and I mean, not just the actual incredible victories and feelings and all that, but your guys' calls and your post-game comments with him were always fantastic, and he just was very quick to thank everybody else.
Oh, it's amazing. And the thing is, and it gets, it's not something you focus on at a time like this, but you have to acknowledge it and you have to think about it moving forward. As nice of a person as he was, as connected as he was with everyone, as smart as he was in life, heck of a basketball coach. There were so many times when he made a decision that influenced a game that were just, I would just marvel at his ability to just push the right button at the right time. So he has a lot of things that he brought to the table, but make no mistake, the guy could X and O, and he could win a game down the stretch, as he did a few times last year.
About after the cameras are rolling or the microphones are rolling, you would bring up a move like that to him, and he would let somebody else take
Yeah,
the rest of the
kinda,
conversation as opposed to bragging on himself. So we'll let you know that this Saturday at the Yingling Center at 11 a.m. a Celebration for Life, and everybody is invited to that. This Friday in Boca Raton, it is the Bulls against FAU, and like I said, it's been a while since the Bulls played, but a couple things that stood out to me about their last win that got them to 3-4, and now this we're playing every week, part of the season actually begins on Friday, is that the defense kept them in the game, and then the offense got going with the running game. So, Joy, what did you like about the game, if you can recall it, and then
vaguely,
hope will carry over to the
one thing about that I think is not only for this game but a theme moving forward that I'm real starting to feel. The young guys are coming.
That's true.
We got some young guys on both sides of the ball that are going to be very important in November, and we got a little glimpse of it against UAB with Keyshawn Singleton scoring on a long touchdown. Jaquan Smith, the same thing, got called back by penalty. Ira Singleton, James Chenault on defense. And we've got a lot of guys that were recruited out of high school that are still very young, but they're starting to play some key roles, and that's good for depth. It's also good for these guys maybe emerging as stars on this team.
Joining the likes of Porter and Grammatic, who are already getting plenty of time as freshmen. He mentioned one of the players that you had a chance to talk to after the game.
Yeah,
What's our feature
Singleton.
looking like this week?
What's that?
What's our feature looking like this week?
Feature this week is we're switching up the vibe a little bit, going with the Halloween theme. So I had some fun with the guys.
Okay.
Asked them their favorite Halloween costume in their whole life. So they sent me some pictures, some fun stuff you have coming up. So.
I'm going to have to wait until our closing segment before I come up with my favorite Halloween costume.
Okay, deal.
And Joey, I'm sure you'll have a good one
I've got
for
mine.
us. Okay.
But Caylee and I were both there on Monday night at the Selman Center where they had the staff Halloween party for the kids. That was something to see with all the players passing out candy and the coaches. Coach Golesh was sort of like sitting back in his big chair as everybody approached giving out candy and toys and all that. And he said it's one of my favorite nights of the year to bring all the staff and the kids together under one roof because, the reality is on Thursday, Halloween, we'll be headed down to Boca Raton to get ready for that game. So the dads and the coaches won't be able to go door to door with their kids, but they had a little bit of a trick-or-treat on Monday night.
That's awesome. Well, we will talk a little bit about Amir Abdur-Rahim with Coach Golesh and then get into this week's game. Decarius Hawthorne will be joining us as well. So stay tuned. Back here, it's great to see Coach Alex Golesh, Darek Sharp with Joey Johnston. Of course, we're going to talk about the football team, which has had, I would use different words to describe the schedule, another bye week. We'll get into that. Looking forward to playing FAU. But, Coach, I certainly know that you were friends, as all of us were, with Amir Abdur-Rahim. What made your relationship with him so special and so immediate?
Yeah, I think the instant deal was that we got hired basically at the same time, and right away I leaned on him in so many ways. He had just gone through what we're trying to do in terms of taking a program at Kennesaw and building it truly from the ground up, and took him 4 years to go cut nets down and make it to the tournament, and I knew right away, man, like, tell me how you did it and give me your 2 cents on how you got through those beginning stages. And through those conversations and I think he leaned on me because I had 3 months on him in terms of here's how I see this kind of working here, but we took the jobs here for very similar reasons. Programs were in about the same place, and we both had a vision of what it could be and what we were going to build to do. He got there really quickly. Then I leaned on him again, man, how'd you get there so quickly? And I think throughout the process, he spent so much time over here with our players, spent so much time at practice. I think spring practice, he was here virtually every day and got to know our guys. Our guys got to know him. Super easy, obviously, to connect with, just how genuine and how real he develops relationships. He's a guy, and you've heard so many people say it, I've heard it so many times on Sunday, but when he looks you in the eye and shakes your hand, you're the most important person in the world, and there's not many people that can make you feel that way, and he's certainly one of them. So I certainly appreciate the year and a half I had, obviously, hits home with being so close in age and how important his family was to him, and how much we both, I feel like, value our families and value relationships before anything else in this whole profession. And I think that's where it hit home for me, but super grateful for the year and a half we had here. Learned so much, feel like I grew so much, both as a coach, but honestly as a man and as a father and a husband, and very much looked up to him.
One more on Coach Amir, if we could, Coach. Obviously, a lot of talk about the basketball team, how it moves forward. They're getting ready to start their season. But as you mentioned, Coach Amir was a presence on this football program, and these players know him, and they were affected as well. So as you go into your game, and it'll be talked about on the broadcast, I'm sure, how will it affect your team, and what will Coach Amir's passing mean in terms of what you guys bring on the field on Friday night?
Yeah, we showed the video to the team on Monday. I guess it would have been yesterday. It was on Tuesday. The video that was done by our production team, and I think what you got out of that was the legacy that he left, and the passion and the energy that he attacked every day with. And it's what you want from your guys every single day. You want a passion and energy and a genuine love for what you do. I can't tell you how it affected every single one of our guys. I think he was closer with certain guys on the team than he was others. I know it certainly affected a lot. I know it certainly affected a lot of our coaches. He spent an hour and a half with our guys in June, closed door, no cameras, as real and authentic as Coach Amir has ever been that I've heard. And so I think it's just a constant reminder of what's really important in life. I think it's a constant reminder of the love you got to have for each other to have elite success. And you always said love wins, and it certainly does. And just a constant reminder for our guys as we head into this.
I can definitely understand you having to think about what day it is because you're playing Friday, so everything's moved up. I get that. But also, it's just been so long. One thing that I'm guessing is good about having 2 byes in 1 month is you can maybe really, really heal up as I bring it back to the last game. And remember, a lot of players from both teams were laid out on that turf at Raymond James Stadium. How are you guys doing, and how did you think you guys performed?
Yeah, there's certain spots we're really thin at, certain spots that a lot of guys played a lot of plays. Defensively we played 90 snaps, 91 snaps. And certain spots that we're thin at, guys played more than you'd like them to. We also played a lot of young guys. But we needed the week. I think everybody in the country would tell you week 8, week 9, you need that week. Needed the week to kind of reset a little bit, needed the week to get healthy and heal up. And it's even the guys that weren't necessarily missing time, but just had nagging things that's a little bit of time away was really good. We went back to work and had a normal Tuesday practice last week, had a normal Wednesday practice, but gave guys time to kind of reset, get away, mentally reset in some ways too. And I think it was really positive for us. We got some guys back, got some guys at least closer to returning potentially, but I think just a reset that everybody needed. These guys will be ready to roll. It's Friday night national TV. It'll be exciting.
The way this season started, there's so many starts and stops with hurricanes and distractions and injuries. And Friday's November 1st. You have 5 games in November. It's pretty clear what's ahead of you. Is it almost like a reset? And it's like, okay, here's how we finish this thing. Here's what we got laid out in front of us. It's pretty clear cut. Does it feel like it's a little more of a clean look ahead that starts on Friday night as to how you finish the season?
Would you believe if I told you no?
Probably.
Yeah. Really, the only thing that we've been worried about is this one. Again, just went back to, our process with this one. I think when you start looking big picture, you can get really caught up. Right. I think probably in a lot of ways fans do. I think
yes.
I think people in the media do look at very much big picture and look at, this is where they should be, they could be, they would be, they need to be, where we look at, can we be the best version of us, in this case on Friday. And really, it's the only thing that matters. They're all a series of 1-game seasons, and you're trying to obviously build from one to the next. What you're saying is dead on, though, in terms of what the early part of the season has been. Man, it's been as highs get, and it's been as lows get in terms of everything from on-field performance to schedules and things moving. This week has felt really normal outside of the day of the week it is. You know, on Saturday was a Sunday, and Sunday was a Monday, and today is Tuesday, but it's really a Wednesday. I bet you if you asked any of those kids or the coaches what day of the week it is, they would tell you it's Wednesday today, because it is Wednesday. It's our Wednesday process, and it was certainly our Wednesday practice. But you look at very much where are we, where do we need to be by Friday night, and then you'll go back and start on when do you have to be ready to go the next time, which is the following Saturday. But I think our job as coaches is to get us so laser focused on what's ahead, and honestly what's ahead today, that you really don't. And I think when you're process driven, that's what it becomes. Are we there as a team? We're certainly striving like crazy to be there, because you can't get to the end of November without being at November 1st.
It requires a mental discipline that maybe I don't have to be that, but I understand what you're saying. If you don't have that, then you don't get the end.
No, it's got to be so laser focused on what's going on. Like, we get done here and meetings, we got to clean practice up, and we got to keep moving forward.
One thing that the media, not me, crossed my mind, might have asked you about, and it's not your friend because he's more worried about the defense, but is that maybe the deep ball wasn't there at the beginning of the season. Man, with Bryce Archie, it looks like it has been there and it actually connected. Could you speak about that aspect of the game? And then, I know what the rule is. I'm not a rules expert about having a receiver be covered up, but what is the reason for that rule?
Yeah. So the deep ball piece, you know, we certainly felt like a year ago, Byram, as he grew and developed, as our receivers grew and developed, as the offense grew and developed, I felt like we continued to get better. So I'd hate to say, man, it's a quarterback piece. I think it's all of it. I think it's us being in sync. The deep ball is really no different than executing on third down. It's a matter of execution. And the thing about offensive football is, one guy's off, you got a problem. And whether it's a deep ball or a inside zone, it doesn't matter. If one guy's off, it's something catastrophic is likely to happen from a football sense. I think as we've gone, we've certainly gotten more in sync. We've certainly protected better. We've executed better down the field. It's a part of our offense. It's not the only part of our offense, but it was really, really good to see us connect. The Jaquan Smith play you're talking about, you know, and we sent it in. We felt like Jaquan was off the ball. The official wasn't set and ready to actually call the play, but at the last second, apparently he felt like they were both on the ball. So the rules are designed to clearly designate who's eligible and who's not.
Sure.
When you're playing really fast, we've got to do a better job coaching it. We've got to do a better job executing it to make sure if you're supposed to be off, you're off, because it took a touchdown off the board. And in a lot of ways, you don't know how that game plays out if it didn't. It was early in the game. It was certainly thrown really well. It was run really well. It was protected really well. You'd love to have the 7 points on that rather than a penalty moving you backwards. Certainly a momentum piece that would get you going early in the game, and it took us a while to get really going in the game offensively. So the rule's the rule. It got called. We kept it moving, and luckily we're able to get out of there with a win. But it was a point of emphasis on the headset at that point.
I could see that.
Coach, when we talk about last year's game, FAU coming in here and winning, you've said in your press conferences that you're well aware of it. The guys are aware of that, a chance to get back at the Owls. But another thing, you're going down to FAU Stadium the last time the Bulls played there in the Boca Raton Bowl, 45-0 win against Syracuse. There are great, happy memories on that field. Is that a thing at all as you go back to a site that that you had such great success that brings some intangible to this game?
Man, you're reaching, Joey.
I'm always reaching. Coach, you know that.
You're reaching. You know what I thought of this morning when I was brushing my teeth? This is my third time going down there to that stadium, is my first time playing FAU.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know
It's a
what
fun
value
fact,
it has,
right?
but it's a trivia question.
It's a trivia
There'll be more
question.
fans rooting for the other team. I just want to prepare you for that.
Yeah. One, I'm excited to play in state. It'll be awesome to have our fans that are down in South Florida be able to go see us play in person. Hopefully the same crowd we had at the bowl game, which would be awesome. There was a lot of green and gold that night. I think just familiarity with obviously the stadium, the setup. I think outside of that, I don't know if anything is going to be the same. Playing a different team in the same venue. That's what I say, Joey.
That's
reaching,
crazy.
dog. But I got you.
I love that, though. That's good.
But you know what? It's one. I feel like we hadn't played in a minute, which we haven't. I feel like it'll be really fun to play on a Friday night. These guys get up for a game like that because there's not a whole lot else going on a Friday night. In terms of TV, there's actually some other games on this weekend, but I think, or this Friday night. I think for these guys, what's unique is that's the one night where every other college football player in the entire country is sitting there in their hotel room watching football, and because that's what we're doing on a Friday night is sitting there watching football.
You want to look good for everybody, right?
Especially your peers.
Yeah.
And so I think we'll be up for the game. I certainly would imagine FAU will be up for the game. I think regardless of records and all these analytical things you could think of, it'll be an awesome environment. It'll be an awesome game against two teams that need to go finish really, really strong. And so it'll be fun.
All right, like your schedule, which I would use the adjective officially jacked up. We're back on a normal schedule here on Bullseye. We'll talk to you about it next week. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
One of the guys that might know a little bit about the opponent, Decarius Hawthorne, will be joining us next.
What has been your favorite Halloween costume in your life?
Spider-Man. I dressed up as Spider-Man for like 4 years in a row. I was the black Spider-Man. I was the regular Spider-Man. I was all the Spider-Mans.
I was a cowboy like for 4 or 5 years.
I got my dog a boxer costume, like a boxer. He's a
Stop it. That's so
yeah.
cute.
I'm gonna send you a picture.
I was Spider-Man growing up.
Definitely was a big Spider-Man.
I was a bear one year, and it kind of makes sense, you know. Big costume, ears, brown.
Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying, first grade. Billie Jean, moonwalking all day, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of hee-hee.
There you go.
I remember I had 1 year where me and my mom matched. We were clowns and we had face paint too.
Scooby-Doo.
Probably a ninja. And I love my mama had me and my brother dressed up with like ketchup and mustard.
I went as a hula girl, so it wasn't pretty for anyone. But.
Power Rangers. I actually got a picture of it with my grandma. Michael Myers.
What's up? That's a costume. Those are glow-in-the-dark balls. Those glow in the dark. Those glow in the dark. It'd be perfect to wake your dad up in the middle of the night. You're Doc McStuffin. I've watched almost every episode. Are you Wolverine? Well, I'm great to see you. Oh, I'm glad to glad it's reciprocated. Right.
Sitting down with us now is the man they call Hawk, Decarius Hawthorne, number 90, defensive lineman. And we want to say, first of all, we appreciate the fact that you did what you did. We got to give a little secret out here. Before we started rolling on the cameras, you were sweating it up, and you're like, I got to take care of things.
Yeah.
To come right off of practice field. So it got us into the question, do you want to be anywhere near a locker room when it's time to actually do laundry? How much do you guys pour out, literally, during a football game?
Yeah, I wonder how much weight you guys actually lose.
I'll say there's probably about 5 to 10 pounds in there.
Wow.
But that's just on a hard day. We battling, of course.
Of course.
So yeah, it happens.
You guys have been doing a lot of great battling lately, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that you have a real defensive lineman number 90.
Yes, sir.
Can you speak to this trend of going to single digits? We love all the guys that have single digits, but it seems like 90, you look like a defensive lineman.
I mean, so like my whole life, honestly, I've been like the underdog type, like, you know, so I feel like 90 is a underdog number.
Huh.
And I put it like this because with a single digit, people expect you to do beyond average things. But if you have a normal number and they're like, whoa, who is that guy?
Yeah.
So it's like,
why is he wearing
it
90?
makes it more worth it, I guess.
That makes sense, actually. So we might talk about the opponent. You might know a little bit about them towards the end here.
Yeah.
But what has your experience been like with your new team for this 5th year of college? We've enjoyed having you. I know you've enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, I have. My new team, honestly, I would say there's a lot of different personalities and people in there, you know, with their own way of doing things. And it's like having to readjust after 4 years or so. Then it's just like, you know, see me, I love change because I'm from Alabama. So like when I first moved to Florida, it was just like, okay, now I'm on my own. I can see what life is about while I'm in the process of playing football and doing school. So just me embracing all of these other great people is just like, it was good for me. I mean, I like to interact with people. You know.
I can tell.
What's it like working with KP? Because
Oh,
I
my
absolutely
gosh.
adore him. He's like my football dad. I tell him all the time. What's it like with him?
Honestly, he's a great guy. You know, but when it comes to work, you're gonna work.
Yeah.
You're gonna work. And if you're not working, he's gonna let you know. He's gonna let you know, but in his own way. You know.
You mean the if you're juiceless, you're useless?
Yeah. If you're
Explain that
juiceless,
one
you're
to
useless.
us.
Yeah.
Tell people about that phrase. Did you pick up on that right away?
So KP was at FAU with me my freshman year, of course. So when he first started saying that, it brought a whole new perspective into me as an incoming freshman because I never heard of that before. So I'm like, what does that mean? So then when I finally realized what it means, like you have to be juice, you have to have juice every day. And if you come with no juice, then it's like you're useless.
And it's not even, it's got to be at practice. It's got to be all the time.
All the time.
But I'm guessing that no one had to remind you about the juice factory. You mentioned being from Birmingham, Alabama, when you guys were in Tuscaloosa. What was that experience like for you?
When we went to Tuscaloosa, it was just really like, I told my mom that one day, like as I was a kid growing up, I told my mom, like we were big Alabama fans. So I told my mom, like one day I'm either going to be on that team or we're going to play against them in that stadium. And I told her I was going to win for her.
Nice.
Sadly, we didn't, but it was still a good experience.
It was a winning effort. Did that show you guys what you could do? What did you think of that?
Yes, sir,
it was
definitely.
an important game.
It really showed me like we have better than what Bethune showed, if that makes sense, because you know Bethune, no knock to them, but they're like a low tier team, and Alabama is, you know, top of the ranks, I guess.
Sure.
And you know, just us performing against those guys, and it's like we can really do it, you know. So it gave us confidence as the years start rolling.
You could see it.
Was a lot of your family there? How
Yeah,
was
a
it
lot of
coming
my
home
family
and
was
seeing
there.
them?
It was great just because I don't really get to go home for real, honestly. I think I go home maybe once out of the year. So it's like at the end of every December, whenever we go on Christmas break, that's when I get a chance to go home.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good to see him.
You mentioned the personalities on the team. It didn't take long for you to be buds with Michael Williams.
Oh, no,
it
not at
seems
all.
like you guys, you wouldn't know this reference because you're young, but Abbott and Costello for the older viewers and listeners. But just an instant comedy team. When did you figure you click with him, and what's he like as a person?
I mean, Mike is a great guy. He's very funny. He's very smart. Like when we be in a meeting room sometimes, he try to yell out the answer before me, or I try to yell it out before him. And you know, in the meanwhile, we play jokes when we have like those little 2-3 minute periods before the meeting starts. So we just be in there cracking jokes. But when it's time to lock in, it's time to lock in.
I can see that.
Mike, he's a really good guy. Like when I first interacted with him, I first got here, I was kind of quiet because, you know, I don't want to come in like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, because that's not how you build that bond with other people. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to come in, and after I felt everybody out, I'm like, damn, Mike is a good guy. Like, he's great. He's a cool dude. So then ever since that day, we just been hanging out and stuff. And
well, I'm glad that he got you out of wanting to be quiet, because that's not you, I can tell.
It's not.
Yeah, I love our D lineman room. I mean, talk to me about the brotherhood on and off the field.
The brotherhood is basically like how I see it, how we all see it, if one fall, we all fall. So me saying that means as if, for example, if one's late, we're all late, you know, or if one misses lunch, we all miss lunch, you know, and we try to take accountability on that. Some days we come in, we try to have the best energy, you know, just so that we can show our young guys how to come in every day to work. And the leadership wise, we have a lot of leaders, you know, but the hardest part about being a leader is having good followers to also help you promote your leadership amongst the group, you know, so we're building on that as of right now.
Hey, I got to ask you, because I'm always curious what somebody that comes in that's been in a program, whatever the program is, for a while, and then comes into USF. You know, we're sitting here doing the show in the IPF. The AC is working. My man's, you know, just off practice field. That's why he's sweating a little bit. You can do this if you want to. But what do you? I'm sure you were impressed when you saw these facilities for the first time, not just the one we're sitting in, but how cool is it to have this and everything else that you're having to your availability here?
It was cool just because, like, there are a lot of resources here that I didn't have, and I feel like as long as me or everyone else, as long as we use our resources the right way, then anything's possible, because we have the nutrition, we have the strength, we have, like, look at the indoor.
It's
like,
fantastic.
wow, it's crazy. And I'm from a team where there was no indoor, so this is something nice.
Don't take it for granted. It's good to hear you say that.
Well, I'm curious to know, have you always had the nickname Hawk your whole life? And where did it come from?
Okay, so when I first got to FAU, I already had Hawk from, like, when I was younger, but too many people didn't call me that until it was like my senior year. So then I'm like, okay. So I go with KP, and he found out. He was like, everybody said their last name, and I was like, Hawthorne, Decarius Hawthorne. He was like, that's too long. And then he was like Hawthorne, Hawk. Hawk, yeah, I like that.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
It's perfect.
Very fitting.
We got to ask you, first of all, you know, just played UAB, so let's just keep it going with the old home week. Going up against FAU, I imagine it's going to be a little strange for you. I know you're going to be ready to go, but what are your emotions heading into that? You're an emotional guy sometimes out there in the field, so I'm just trying to rein you in, I guess.
I'm glad, but I'm actually happy, you know, for the opportunity, just because, you know, I have brothers on that side of the ball also, you know, but honestly, we are just gonna treat it like it's a normal game, just because we don't want too many feelings or too many emotions involved. We just want it to be as perfect as we can make it, you know, so.
Keep it about football for the most part.
Keep it about football,
That's a smart approach.
Until after the game.
All right, so last thing, you guys have had it's been a weird schedule. You've had another bye week. I'm guessing you guys are ready to actually play football every week, and you want to get back above 500, get those wins strung together. From the defensive side, what's the key thing to try and have that happen?
The key thing, I think, just playing as one. Like, we can't expect anybody else to make those tackles or make those plays. If everybody just get to the ball after they execute their job, then that's all we need. That's all we need.
I like it. Hawk, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll wrap up the program next. Love talking to Coach Golesh and Hawk, which is really, truly the perfect nickname.
I love it.
We need more. we don't have nicknames, do we?
Great nickname means a lot.
Well, did you ever have one?
Me?
Joey J?
I'm Joey Johnston. You would think JJ, right? But Joey J, that's my nickname. Everybody calls me Joey J. Not JJ, Joey J. And I like it. I like Joey J.
That's just randomly what came to me, and that's actually your nickname.
Yeah, Joey
Natural.
J.
But you?
I've always been KK.
C-A-Y,
That's what
I thought too.
Natural.
Dang.
There is one.
You're D sharp, right?
Wow. I guess it was natural. A natural process is anything for all of us. Because yes,
I guess maybe Sharpie. Anybody call you Sharpie?
Sharples.
Sharples.
I used to be a hockey fan before we had a hockey team, and there was my favorite player was Jeff Sharples, and I had a Sharples jersey, played for the Red Wings. Long story short.
Yeah.
So we're finally no more bye weeks. We're going to be here every week. What did you guys do during your bye week? Do you still watch sports? I watch the Bucks and You know, the orange creamsicles. I'd watched a lot of college football.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
good to be able to watch, and I have to, you know, okay, I need to be preparing for this part of the broadcast. But it really is one of my favorite sports when you realize you can just watch it and not work. And what about you guys?
Yeah, college football, World Series. I watched the
course.
Bucks. Just did normal stuff. But, you know, the Saturday we're always really busy, so it was kind of nice just to sit back and watch and have a normal Saturday.
Yeah.
And
What a fun time of year for sports too. Hockey's
Yes.
starting, so it's like,
everything.
man, how many TVs can you have going at the
It's the
same
crossover
time?
season when it
Yeah.
comes to college sports because, again, basketball and the
Basketball,
regular season will be on Monday. So the men's basketball team will be playing the Gators in Jacksonville. You'll be on the road for our radio broadcast. I'll be at home as I do play-by-play along with Bridget Miranda on Bulls Unlimited, 6 o'clock on Monday. So we'll probably sprinkle in some basketball talk as well. The Bulls come into this one 3-4, FAU 2-5, although they had a double-digit lead recently against North Texas, so really similar. And if you're going to the game, not that you would, Bulls fans, but don't wear red. FAU has decided to make it a red out. Do you know what happens when Bulls see red?
Oh my gosh. Very good point.
Yeah, that was a great point.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll look like Christmas, I
Might
guess.
want to rethink that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Too late.
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys for watching. As always, keep those horns up.